Welcome to the 513 podcast. I'm your host, Nick Nickel, also known as Bengals Storm. Don't have any co-hosts with me today, but I have a very special guest. University of Michigan, the punt god, 6th-round pick, bald as hell, makes BJ Hill look like a afterthought. Brad Robbins, how you doing today, man?
I don't know about that. BJ Hill with the bald head looked pretty good, man. he did it. He did it pretty well. I'm doing solid. Just continuing training in the off season, and really just can't wait for the season to get back started.
Yeah, man, just waiting for OTAs, training camp, all that stuff. Free agency's happening right now, but for today, we're here to discuss about punting, and that's going to be. But to start off, first question I have for you today is your last year of Cincinnati, you beat out Drew Chrisman for the starting punter job, and in which you had a lot of highlights and, as some fans would say, a few rookie mistakes. How have you been going this offseason with trying to better yourself, and what are you trying to better yourself with most?
Yeah, so there's a lot to it, right? So obviously, when you come in as a rookie, you want to impress everybody. You have high aspirations. You want to lead the league in every stat possible. But it is possible, right? But it's not probable. And the fact that I had a couple highlights, a couple lowlights, it just goes to show the ups and downs and the importance of consistency in punting. So, just fine tuning a few things here and there. Comparing it to golf, the less you miss, like the closer your misses are, the better off you're going to be. Just really just plugging away at that, working a lot mentally. I feel like that's a big thing. As I told you before the show, deleted all my social media and stuff, except for, Instagram. I closed off all of that stuff just to be able to talk to you and get to be able to, kind of view what my friends are up to and stuff. So I feel like that's a very healthy thing. I'm also in the process of hiring a kind of a sports psych life coach, somebody who's worked with a lot of different athletes in a lot of different fields. So in the process of doing that, I get to be able to talk to, someone once, twice a week and just talk about how things are going, talk about how we can improve from a form perspective and also just improve in life, not necessarily like specifically punting, but how you can be better in your own life, and it carries on and off the field, right? So that's kind of what I've been up to.
Yeah, man, that's great to hear. I mean, in which what you're saying with like consistency, it was moving on to my next question. What do you think was your best punt punt performance in a game, or just overall one punt where you're like, damn, that was good? Just like Pat McAfee celebration to the sidelines, Marquette King kind of like you really want to pull that off. But what was a punt that made you think like that?
I mean, the one that comes to my mind, at least this past season, was it didn't have a whole lot of impact on the game, but it was towards the end of when we played away in Pittsburgh. I had I think the ball was on the minus 45. And I hit like a high hanging spiral punt that landed at like the 2 and just stopped at like the 2 or the 1.
Oh my God, I remember.
It was a good punt, but it didn't have a whole lot of impact at that point. The game was out of reach, and I think we had like a few minutes left. But yeah, no, there's a lot to it. There's a couple, when I played in Arizona, I thought I had a pretty decent game in Arizona. Obviously, it's a little bit easier to play inside. So playing in a dome and no conditions and stuff, it was fun to just wail away at the ball and watch it fly. So I think the biggest gain you get as a player comes between year 1 and year 2. The biggest jump. That's what all the coaches say. That's what all the players say. It's like, all right, now you know what to expect. So going into year 2, you know what to expect. So go perform.
Yeah, and speaking of that, with like a big jump, it seems like the coaches are expecting a big jump from you as in free agency. some fans were saying, hey, we should get a punter like Tommy Townsend or I forget the other ones because they're already signed. But the Bengals didn't sign any punters. They didn't bring any competition. So how does that make you feel that the coaches are looking like they're putting in a lot of trust in you for this season at the moment?
Yeah, and the thing is, you never know too. I don't necessarily know how it works when they can bring someone in when they can't. But just saying from the coach's perspective, and what feels like the amount of trust they're putting into me and the belief they put into me, really means a lot. It does a lot for the psyche for sure. But either way, I thrive in competition. I thrive without competition. So that part of the thing, it's the nature of the job. It doesn't matter too much to me. I'm going to go out there and do my best to perform, and that's what it's going to be. But yeah, so kind of moving forward from that, like that was like another reason. Obviously, I had Twitter and stuff, and everyone's like, yeah, we should just. The Bengals guys were like, oh, we should just sign a punter. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to take that as motivation. Have a chip on my shoulder because, it's in my mind, it's my job, and I don't want to lose this job. I want to play as long as I can. So any rock I can, turn over to figure out something new. All I want our program to do is win. I want what's best for our team. And I would like fans to know that. That's all I want.
Yeah, man, like your job, hopefully that's 10 plus years, but your friend's job, Evan McPherson, was my next question. First of all, how do you think his play is, and how do you think your consistency has been with, like, you were the holder for him, I believe. So how long did it take to get good chemistry with, like, holding the kicks and whatnot?
Yeah, I don't think it took that long. Me and him clicked right away. I think our personalities are pretty similar. We would go golf together and stuff last year in the summer and kind of just build a rapport. I got to get a feel of him, of what he likes and what he doesn't like. Even in golf, like if he hits a bad shot, does he like when I say get him next time or something like that, or like pat him on the butt and be like, yeah, whatever, So I get to learn those ins and outs of just kind of what he feels and what he thinks about, off the field as well as on the field. So we go to Bible study together. So we do that. And I feel like that's he ended up introducing me to some guys, which was pretty cool. And we get to do this Bible study, which is awesome. But it definitely helps our relationship for sure. The chemistry on the field, like I said, definitely bleeds onto off the field. And yeah, he just had a baby too. So,
Wow.
Moving forward from that, another thing players say is like, as soon as you have your first kid, you get that dad strength, and like the next season's going to be your best season. So, I'm kind of just looking forward to, what he's going to do. He's going to have the dad strength. So.
Yeah, man, I mean, that's great to hear. And with Evan, I mean, if he shows that dad strength you're talking about, it's going to be the highest paid kicker in the NFL very soon. But like with the same question, with Cal, how has it been with chemistry with him and just learning the snap that he has on both field goals and punts? And is there a difference that he does with you with snapping for a field goal and snapping for a punt?
Yeah, so I mean, they don't call him. We sometimes call him Barrett 50 Cal because of how hard he snaps it. He's good. He's accurate. And I don't think I've ever met like a more driven individual as far as like the long snapper position. He's always in early. He's always, talking with coaches, talking with Darren, figuring out, the like reading the fronts, what to expect, what teams do, how often they do it. And, even in our meetings, Cal will be called on for answers and he'll come through like 100% of the time. He knows what to expect on field goal and on punt. As far as like the snapping and stuff, like I said, he's just, we call him Barrett 50 Cal. He launches it back there. He does his job. So, but yeah, I never met a more positive guy and a more driven guy. So he's one of my best friends, I think, right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, Cal, you, and Evan, just hope that's the trio we have for many years to come. But gosh, I'm blanking right now. Sorry. What are you looking forward to most this upcoming season? Whether it's with the Bengals hopefully getting a Super Bowl, hopefully it's like a goal you have. Whether Bengals get the Super Bowl, you make the Pro Bowl, you all pro for something.
Yeah,
What's your
those are all tangible. And like I feel like for me, I've been writing down these goals on a sheet of paper. So that's like the ultimate goal. I have the goals in my heart. Like, yeah, I want to execute each opportunity I have. So depending on where the field position is, I think the one area I need to grow in is, the more backed up we are, it's just getting the ball down the field further and trusting our coverage. That's like a big wake up call and something I learned this year is trying to figure that piece of the puzzle out. So that's a big goal of mine. It's just grossing more yardage. So, but as far as the team, I'm just excited. Knock on wood, is just getting rid of that injury bug for everybody. It feels like a lot of our team couldn't really stay healthy. There was a lot of banged up guys and a lot of guys playing hurt, and I could feel the frustration just among like everybody. Everybody was pretty frustrated. So, but the thing I'm most proud of is like being a part of that team is everybody battled and did their job as hard as they could, as best as they could, and as long as they could until the games were over. So, no, I'm just excited. I just love the mentality of everybody in there, the tenacity and the stick-to-itiveness, and just the drive to win. It's pretty unmatched.
All right, so a bit of a wild card question I got here. Just thought of it. What is a NFL stadium you want to punt in the most?
It's a good question. I think for whatever reason, I've always kind of been drawn to like Minnesota.
Ooh.
With their with like the skull chant and like the big like the Viking horn they got. I feel like it's just kind of a cool environment.
And it's indoors and
yeah, indoors.
indoors, bright. I mean
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I've punted like once in my life, barely went over 25 yards, but for me, I feel like Dallas. I don't know, just because, like, especially with you, with that hang time, that you're hitting that 900-foot scoreboard they got in the middle every time.
Yeah, we played like a neutral site game against Florida my freshman year
Oh,
of college at AT&T. And so I was banging the scoreboard during warm-ups, just aiming for it, trying to hit the bottom of it.
did you get it?
Yeah, well, yeah, I hit it a few times.
All right. All right, speaking of like college, next question I had for you was the NFL draft. Like, what seems like 4 years in a row, the Bengals take a Michigan football player. There's you, Dax, DJ Turner. Is there a guy you want to join that group of Michigan turned Bengals?
I wish I could take all of them. No, just personality-wise, dude, I can't just pick one. It's tough. Like, I like. I mean, I'll say Mikey Sanders still.
The cornerback?
Yeah, he's a nickel. He came in as a receiver, then transitioned to defense, and he's like one of the nicest dudes of all time, and good leader, good person, and a really good player, just good athlete. No, that would be exciting. But there were like 19 of them or something at the combine, so the odds of one of them ending up this way, I feel like, are pretty good, at least more than previous years. So we'll see.
I mean, that's ironic just because of the fact that that Mike guy, he met with Cincinnati at the combine. So like,
oh, did he?
Yeah, so that's just funny to think, oh my God, we're going to get another defensive back that went to Michigan.
Yeah, we had, during camp in college, me, Mikey, DJ Turner and Jake Moody would play like Super Mario Strikers on the GameCube. like us four would all be in a room like playing 2-on-2. So it'd be pretty funny to have him here. And we have a good relationship, good rapport. It'd be pretty awesome.
All right. Well, I think you know what the last question I have for you is. Last offseason when I asked you this, it was early into OTAs, I believe, mini camp, so not much. I want the update on how ping pong went.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I gave up about probably three quarters of the way through the season. Evan ended up being really, really good. T.I., Trent Irwin, he was good. But yeah, it's crazy. Those guys are like freakishly. I played. Did I tell you the story about T.I. and playing him in cornhole?
Yeah, last.
Yeah, like I mean, the dude's hand-eye is crazy. But yeah, I'd say the best players right now. I mean, in my mind, the guys who I played against were Evan and T.I. But I would beat a handful of guys. Cal would be in the mix sometimes. I'd beat him. He'd beat me. We'd trade games. I think I beat Evan once or twice in probably like 30 or 40 games. He's solid. He's a good player. So, but who knows?
And with that, is it like, are you hoping locker room renovations they add another game that maybe you can be the top end? If so, what game would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm good at like pool, like billiards.
Just have a giant pool table in the middle of the locker room. Zach Taylor, after a win, just goes on top of it and just throws game balls.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. But it's mostly, I mean, a lot of that stuff during season gets put away anyway.
All right.
Just because, like, during I'm not a leader in the locker room. And I just listen to what the older guys say and what they want to do. And I think we all buy into the fact that, like, pretty much during the season, during, game weeks, a couple days before the game, all the stuff gets, like shoved to the side, put away.
All right.
And everybody gets locked in. So it'd be pretty difficult to do with a pool table. So I don't foresee that happening.
Because that's the old offensive lineman's training for the week. Just pick up the pool table and move it.
Yeah, that would be it.
All right, but yeah, that's all I have for you today, Brad. And thank you for anyone listening to the 513 podcast. Make sure to subscribe, follow all the socials in the description, follow all of Brad, his socials in the description, and watch as he hopefully proves some people wrong, proves some people right, gets the Pro Bowl, and hoists up a Lombardi.
All right.